Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to episode 94 of Talking Asperger's with Andrew. My name is Andrew Marsh, and I'm autistic. My representation of autism is Asperger's syndrome, or as they call it in the diagnostic manuals these days, type 1 autism. Now, I don't like that reference for me. Other people might be quite perfectly happy with using type 1, type 2, or type 3 autism to describe their conditions, and that's absolutely fine if that's what they want to do. I'm going to use the term Asperger's syndrome to refer to the condition that I have. If I want to talk about autism more broadly, I will use the term autism. So, why am I here? Why are you going to be watching this on replay? Well, I used to be a geologist, and I spent my entire geological career not fitting in, not getting on with people, and having a bit of a tricky time of being around people. I always knew I was different, but didn't know why. And it wasn't until after I finished my geological career, when I was 51, that I was diagnosed with Asperger's syndrome, and everything fell into place. So what I do now is I work with employers to help them better manage people like me, autistic people, people with Asperger's syndrome in their business. Because I've now got 59 years of lived experience of this condition, although I only knew 8 years ago that I have it. I've bumbled my way around, found coping strategies and coping systems that I probably didn't realize I was using in quite the extent that I was to get through life, to get through being around people, to being successful as a geologist. And so I look back at it now and I think, well, what can I do to help a company, help a business, or help someone like me fit in, get on better at work, and how they can make a telling contribution? Because ultimately, in the modern world, everyone has a place. Everyone has a place. Everyone can bring tools to the table, and we need to be as I'm going to use the word D. I'm going to use the D word here. We need to be as diverse as we possibly can in who we employ so that we have the broadest possible range of skills to choose from to make our business grow. And it follows, doesn't it? It follows. I'm going to use a quote that I quite often use on my webinars, and it's really important now to understand that. If you always employ the same type of person doing the same type of job, guess what? You're going to get the same type of result. Now, that might be fine if you're doing a very specific thing, like raw materials in, put it into a machine or a process, and you get ball bearings out. There's going to be little that you can do from raw material, process, end product to change that to be more efficient. Maybe the piece of kit that you use, the process might be able to be made more efficient, but generally it's a 1, 2, 3 step boom product. Most systems and most products are more complicated than that. So that if you employ more people who are more diverse, who come from different backgrounds, and that might be geographical as well as ethnic, as well as religious, as well as their technical abilities, it might be different across a whole broad spectrum. Oh, and neurodiversity, which is a subject key to my own heart. It, it might well be that employing the person from Bolivia or Slovakia or Bulgaria or Singapore or wherever might be the person who can fix the problem that you've got in your business that you've had for 10 years and no one can fix. No one that you've employed, no the specialist you've called in, they cannot fix this problem and you're running at low efficiency. It's always breaking down. Something is always going wrong with it. It could be that that person from Paraguay, Singapore, wherever goes, oh yeah, we had that problem for a few years. We fixed it 3 years ago. You want to employ that person because that person can fix your long-standing problem. Wouldn't that be good? By opening up your business to different people with different life experiences, different backgrounds, different abilities, different strengths, you are going to increase your resource pool from which to draw your experience and make your business grow. So that helping people fit in, helping them with strategies and techniques that the business can employ to get the best out of people who are neurodivergent, who have autism or who have Asperger's syndrome is what I do now. And I'm very passionate about being as diverse as possible because there is so much talent and skill out there from people who are neurodiverse. We'll take the neurodiversity as an example, that they're just not getting the opportunity. Partly because, yes, sometimes, or even many of us have what you might call social skills issues. We can be a bit difficult around people, or awkward, or uh, not fitting in, and that sort of geeky way that they do things, but they don't talk to other people about it. They might talk to other geeky people in the corner, but the bulk of the people that they work with, they don't tend to talk much to, because, and the reason being is they don't know how. We don't know how to communicate. Now, when I'm communicating with you quite well, but put me in a room full of people, and I struggle. At networking meetings, I really have to put on my brave face, I've got to go and speak and introduce myself to these people, to tell them who I am, to tell them what I do. And that is difficult for us, for all of us who are on the spectrum, because we don't know how to do it. We feel very uncomfortable, feel very self-conscious. We're not sure how people are going to judge us, because we may have been judged badly by people in authority, by work colleagues, by people at school, by teachers, even parents and family may have judged us badly. And we've had that, having to cope with that situation for a very long time. And so we have defense mechanisms. And it's sometimes difficult to get through that, to find the person behind that, underneath that, and what they can do for you. So that's my task. That's my objective, is to help businesses employ autistic people, people with Asperger syndrome, and get the best from them. Because if you're employing people who have such great talent, it is more than likely that they're going to be able to come up with something that could fix a long-standing problem, could be new innovation, new ideas, great problem solving, that can be great for these open table meetings that you should have from time to time. Say, okay, nothing is off the table. There is no such thing as a stupid question. We need to move something forward here. How do we go about doing that? That's what I want to be able to help employers do, because I've got 59 years of lived experience of it. I've managed, before I knew I had Asperger's, to be successful in the construction industry, which is one of the toughest industries to be in. And I'm not trying to wear that as a badge, but there are things that we can do. There are things that employers can do to make that process easier in engaging with their autistic employees, engaging with people who have Asperger's, and setting them off to succeed. That's what you want. So, bit of a lengthy introduction there, but I think it's important to understand why I do what I do and what I want to achieve. And today's topic, we're going to talk about something that's very dear to my own heart, and that is the very simple word, order. Now, I'm just going to have a quick drink. Order. I have to have order. And that means things need to be in their place. Things need to be where they're supposed to be. And they can't just be chucked on the desk somewhere. There's a filing cabinet, and there's a section for that piece of information to be. There's bookshelves over there that I've got information on that I need about my writing, about my business, and I need to know that the third file along has that piece of information in, and it's not in the second file, it's not in the fourth file, because it's not been moved. I have to have order. I have to have my ducks in a row. I'm a ducks in a row kind of guy. And don't worry, I'm not going to use modern mumbo jumbo speak, but ducks in a row fits for me. I like to have order. I like things to be logical. I like things to be consistent. I like things to know where they are, to know how something is done, and that when we do it the next time, providing we found out that it works, we do the same thing the next time. That actually brings me on to something, and I'm just going to cover this slightly, is repeated tasks. Is used to be a geologist. I occasionally would have a job that was similar to a job we'd done before. And I would be told, oh, we did that a couple of years ago, that job down in Ayrshire. Yeah, it's similar to that. Go just do the report similar to what we did before. Me being me, I would say, did anyone find out that when we gave them the final report and they did their design and they went to build it, that it worked well? Did it go according to plan? And this person would look at me, my supervisor, my manager would look at me and go, what do you mean? I said, well, how do we know that what we gave them worked? Because if it didn't work or they had to make changes, then there's no point doing the same thing again on this next job. Oh, stop asking stupid questions and just get on and do it, which didn't set me up particularly well. And that got me labeled as a troublemaker because I would ask these stupid questions. Don't be stupid, Andrew. Just get on and do what you're told. Yeah, I've got 2 degrees, mate. I have some intellect. I know what I'm talking about, and I need to understand what you mean by what you've said. So let's have a discussion on it. And they wouldn't do it because they thought I was challenging their authority. So repetitive task is important because we're very good at doing that. Autistic people, people with Asperger syndrome, are very good at doing repetitive tasks because once we've been shown how to do something, we've sat down with that person, they've shown us, we've tried it ourselves, we've done it ourselves, we've listened to them say, just make sure you don't do this because X will happen, and so that you understand that and you do it in the correct way, and X doesn't happen because you've done it right, and you're set up and you can do it, and you can keep on doing it time after time after time. That is part of order. That's part of rote. It's part of the things that people on the spectrum are good at doing repetitive tasks, because we know once we've been shown and we know how to do it, we've got confidence. We know what we're going to do. We know what comes to us from up the line, or down from down up, yeah, from down the line. We do what we need to do and we pass it. Yeah, up the line and down the line. I was right first time. We know what we've got, what comes up the line. We do what we do, and we send it down the line to the next person to do the next part of the process or use the information that we've given them. Order, 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 all the way through. Yeah, it's great. People with Asperger's are fantastic at doing that. Autistic people are fantastic at doing that because we have this one thing, this thing that we can do, and we've been shown how to do it. We can do it well. We know what happens if something comes to us from up the line that's wrong because it won't feel right, it won't look right. Something will happen in the machine or in the process or the activity that you're doing. And so there'll be a problem. So you speak to the people up and say, that last one that came down, that wasn't right. We had to change it, make changes. Something wasn't correct. We need to avoid those things. So that level of order is very important to autistic people, to people with Asperger syndrome, because we have to know how something works so that we can do it successfully, time and time and time again. We can do it consistently. And the bosses love it. Got Andrew doing this thing. He's going to be doing it all day. He knows what he's doing. They don't need to worry about what Andrew's doing. Andrew knows what he's doing. He knows who to contact if something doesn't come to him right, or the information that he's got isn't correct. He knows who to go to about that, and he will then pass it on correct to the next person down the line for the next stage in the process. Perfect. That's having order. Just like organizing your bookshelves, organizing your filing cabinets, making sure you know where everything is, having an index in every file. You've got your what's the word for it? Your sections in your file, numbers 1 to 10 in your file, and each section has got a different piece of information in it. It could be correspondence in, it could be correspondence out, it could be calculations, could be design, could be all sorts of pieces of information. You've got it numbered 1 to 10. At the front of that file, you have a list that says what is in sections 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that someone coming to that, wanting to find where are the calculations, they go to the file, they look at the front, they go, oh, there it is. Calculations are in section 4. Bam, straight in, and they can find what they're looking for. Rather than, this is in a filing cabinet somewhere, good luck, mate, you might find it in a couple of hours. That doesn't help anyone. So being consistent, being logical, being ordered, it's a fantastic way of keeping your record, keeping accurate and precise. It makes things traceable, it makes people accountable, and things work so much better when things are working in an orderly way. And it has a knock-on effect. That knock-on effect is that everyone knows their place, their task, their role, their responsibility. They know what other people are doing, and they know how it works and how things fit together. It helps build teamwork, because if you're doing a certain part of something and there's a person that does something before you and there's a person who does something after you, you've got a relationship with that person up the line and you've got a relationship with that person down the line. So that helps build teams. It helps build continuity. It helps build consistency. It makes the rapport between the teams work well, so that you can back each other up, you can support each other, you can help each other. And that's how teams become efficient and effective and productive. And that's what a business wants. The ultimate aim of a business should be to do a good job, get paid well, make some profit. Put that profit back into the business, give the people who are your employees a pay rise, reward them for their efforts, and repeat. That's what a business is for. No good being brilliant at what you do, but making 80% of your costs. That's how businesses fail. You want to be making 120% of your costs or 150% of your costs and sharing that amongst your team members, your managers, and your staff, your employees. That's what you want to be able to do. So you need to be productive, you need to be effective, you need to be efficient. And all of that happens with order. If you have chaos and people running around doing 70 hours a week because everything's gone wrong and the whole thing's gone belly up and it crashed again and no one can fix it, and the subcontractor that you need to come in and fix it is too busy for a week, what do you do? The whole plant goes down, everything crashes, everything fails, people aren't productive, people are running around like headless chickens. That's how losses happen. That's how mistakes happen. That's how accidents happen. That's how people get too stressed. That's how people take time off work because they're so stressed. They're ill. They're having heart palpitations. They're not being able to focus or sleep. And all of these knock-on effects from inefficiency and chaos hit you right with the employees. And without employees, you don't have a business. You might have the best idea in the world, but without people to do it, to make it, to build it, to deliver it, to talk about it, you have nothing. So whilst it's great having an idea and a concept, and it's brilliant that you do that and you come up with new ideas, new concepts all the time, particularly, when you've got your teams and you have your open table meetings to thrash out new ways of doing something. These are essential parts of the business process. You still have to have people to do it. You still have to make sure they're trained adequately, they're rewarded adequately so that they stay. Because the last thing you want is to turn over your 90% of your workforce every year. You're not building consistency. There's definitely, if you're turning over so many people, you're not being effective. You're not being efficient, because you can't be. Because you're always training new people, then they leave. Always training new people, then they leave. Where's the consistency in that? Where's the order? So order is essential to have a productive business, because it creates happy employees who know what they're doing. It helps build teams, and the whole process works like a well-oiled machine. Efficient, productive, profitable. Everyone benefits. It means that you can promote from within. Organic growth is much, much better than bringing in someone new. Sometimes you have to bring in someone new because they have a skill, a specialism, and expertise, maybe a client base, or maybe they've got new technical skills that you need to bring in. So sometimes it is necessary to bring in new people. But the danger with that is you don't know who you're getting. Yes, you've interviewed them. Yes, you've got their CV. You've talked to them about their CV, their background, their experience, the problems they have with this job, and also, but you still don't know how that person is going to get on with the teams that they're going to be managing. And if it turns out that that person doesn't fit in, you've got a problem, because things will start to grind to a halt. The consistent flow will start to fail. Little niggles will creep in, little inefficiencies will creep in, things having to be done again because they don't work, because the communication isn't working with that manager. So really important, if you can promote from within and you push people up. So if you promote someone from the shop floor to a supervisor, it means your supervisor could become a manager. Your manager could become a manager of a bigger department, a bigger section of your business, and you're keeping all that in-house experience in-house. where you best need it, and you can be more efficient and productive. So, and that encourages people to think, yes, there is a career path for me here. Even though I'm only doing this part at the moment, I can see how I could go up the ladder. I could progress and I could help and manage the teams, and all builds from within. It's really important. And order is one of those key things that a business needs to have. It needs order in all facets of it, whether that's the admin, the admin and the accounting needs to be ordered as well, because you need to have things coming in. Simple things can trip people up so badly, like no one ordered the paper. And you might be sitting there looking at me going, what on earth have you just said? If no one orders the letter-headed paper, how can you send out reports? How can you send out letters if you've run out of letter-headed paper, or you run out of A4 paper for your printer and your photocopier? The business grinds to a halt just because someone hasn't ordered the paper. That's a ridiculous example, but I have been in places where we have run out of toner for our printer and no one was able to print anything. What? You run out of toner for the printer? And there was more than one department using that printer. We had 3 departments using one printer. Yes, I know. Tell me about it. That put 3 departments not able to issue letters, not able to photocopy information they needed. The place ground to a halt because someone wasn't told they needed to order toner cartridges, or they were told and they forgot or didn't or overlooked it. The system, the whole place ground to a halt because we didn't have toner cartridges. We ended up having to go get our photocopying done in 3 floors away. Well, it's somewhat inefficient, wouldn't you say, running up and down 3 flights of stairs every time you printed a piece of paper off? Oh, nightmare. But these are things that happen when you don't have order, you don't have systems in place that track all of these key issues. You might not think toner cartridges and photocopier paper is important. You wait till you run out, you'll see how important it is. Just like in COVID, we've just been through COVID. Who were the most important people during COVID? Yes, the doctors and nurses and the people administering the inoculations and the vaccines. But the other important people that we found out were the lorry drivers, were the shelf stackers in supermarkets, were the checkout people in supermarkets. They were critical. If we didn't have lorry drivers, we'd have no food and no toilet roll on our shelves. If we didn't have people stacking the shelves from the lorries into the depot, into the back of the office, to the building, getting it onto the shelves in time, and then people who are working in the checkout to check you out when you've got your shopping. The country would have ground to a halt just because we wouldn't have had lorry drivers, shelf stackers, and checkout people. Those were critical people during COVID. Think about that for a moment. You might sit there and think, oh, they're only a checkout person. It doesn't really matter. They're just doing some menial job. Why don't they get a proper job? Well, we found out during COVID just how important checkout people, shelf stackers, and lorry drivers were. Having order is really important. And that order is a key component of every aspect of a business. And your person with autism, your autistic person, your person with Asperger syndrome will function on order. They have to know what's going in. They need, the clipboard that hangs by the door that you use every now and then to make a note of something that has gone wrong, to notify your supervisor that there's an issue with something. It might be as simple as a clipboard on the door. Make a note of the problem and let the supervisor know, and they'll take it from there. Nowadays, it's probably an email. There might be a requisition order to do, but there will be some method within your business that tells someone who needs to take an action that action is needed now and not in a week's time, because we're going to be running out of paper, we're running out of toner, so we need to act that now. This is where order, processes, and systems need to be on the ball all the time, and you need to have people monitoring them. Whether that's the manager, whether that's someone in admin, doesn't matter, providing that person knows their responsibilities, that they need to check on a weekly basis the paper store. Have we got enough paper? When do we need to order paper? Right. We're down to our last 10 boxes of photocopier paper. Now, you get 6 reams of paper or 5 reams of paper in a box. That's 3,000 pages. 10 bucks, that's 30,000 pages. You might think 30,000 pages a piece of paper, A4 paper, it's a lot. When you churn out lots of reports and your reports could be 100 pages and you've gone through 3 or 4 drafts of that, well, that's 500 pages. And then you're going to do 10 copies of that. That's another 500 pages. You're nearly at 1,000 pages straight away with one report. If you're writing 6 reports a week, oh, hang on, your numbers soon get very, very important on how much paper you've got. I'm over laboring this point about paper and photocopier toner cartridge, but you know what I mean. There are things within your business that function because someone is watching what is happening. They're recording how much is being used, and they are ordering new in time so that the people who need to use it do so seamlessly and don't know that this process is happening in the background. They just know that when they need to fill up put new paper in the photocopier, they can go to that cupboard and there is plenty. There will be things in your business that is the same as the photocopier paper. And you only ever know how critical it is when someone forgets to order it or go and get it or make sure that something happens, or that person who does that ordering is on their 2 weeks annual leave. Make sure you've got a deputy in place so that in the week before they go on annual leave, there's a briefing. What do we need to do? What do I need to order or look at ordering in the next 2 weeks while you're not here? Order, logic, consistent, repeatability, all these words all mean the same thing, and your business will flow efficiently, as seamlessly as it can be. So this is what I mean by order. It means your filing cabinets are labeled. It means your files are labeled. You've got indexes in them. If you've got an archive store, label the shelves. Shelf 1, shelf 2, shelf 3, row A, row B, row C. It's not difficult. You can do that. Put stickers on the front of the shelf so that shelf there is bead 3, so that you know the archive box on shelf B3 is going to contain what information, because it says so on the schedule, which is also clipboarded back, on the back of the door, so that you know as well. All of those things, the seamless, silly little things that you might think are irrelevant, can be the things that trip you up. Can you remember in April 2019 or 2020 when COVID hit? It was March 2020, wasn't it, when COVID hit? How quickly did the toilet rolls disappear off the shelves in the supermarket? They disappeared. Vroom, overnight. No toilet roll. I don't know who it was in any position of authority that said, by the way, COVID gives you bad guts and you're going to need more toilet roll. I don't remember anyone ever saying that, but the great British public went, toilet roll, emergency, cleared the shelves. 2 days later, there was no fresh meat in any supermarket. I have photographs on my phone of empty shelves, of shelf upon shelf upon shelf, where all the fresh meat would have been. Disappeared. No pasta sauces. Disappeared. That's what we did when COVID hit, when we went into lockdown. See how important it is to have a system in place to make sure that that doesn't happen again. It's really important to have order, to make sure that everything works efficiently and there's someone checking, and when people aren't there because they're on holiday, that there's someone deputizing, and make your systems work. If you work with spreadsheets, fantastic. They are brilliant. Make sure you continually save and update the file every time you're using it. Every time you go away from your desk, save. Never get up from your desk and not save the work that you are doing, whether that's a Word document, a report, an Excel spreadsheet, some other piece of software that you're using. If you get up from your desk to go make a cup of tea, go to the toilet, whatever it is, go to a meeting, save. Save that thing. Because if you don't know that someone has come in, sat down, deleted that, and done something else. Not necessarily out of malice, but someone might come in and do something to what you're working on that makes you lose 2 hours work or a day's worth of work. Always be ordered in what you do and how you do it. And people who are autistic, people with Asperger syndrome, like order. We love things to be the same as it was yesterday, and it's going to be the same as it is tomorrow. They are probably the same people like me who have the same thing for lunch every day. I pretty much have the same thing for lunch every day. Sometimes I might make a change, but most of the time I can go weeks and weeks and weeks having exactly the same thing for lunch every day. That's not because other things aren't available. That's just because I like order. I like things to be the same. I like to know what's happening. I like to be able to predict what's going to happen because there's an order to it. I like that. I like things to be ordered and structured. And that helps the business run smoothly. So I've sort of gone on at quite a few things there, talking about lorry drivers and shelf stackers and checkout people and toilet rolls on shelves. But it's really important to understand how important it is to have order in your business, in all facets of how you run your business, how you run your management, how you run your accounts, how you run your admin. All of those things need to be ordered in a logical way with a process, with someone accountable for it, someone to deputize when they're on holiday, all of those things so that you don't run out of toilet roll, you don't run out of paper, you don't run out of toner cartridge, or whatever that thing is that is critical to your business. So that when that person goes on holiday, the place doesn't fall apart for 2 weeks. My name's Andrew Marsh. I'm autistic. I have Asperger syndrome, and I help businesses manage people like me and manage them better, to do it better, to understand how their mind ticks and how you can put simple strategies in place to make that process work better. I have a 7 steps program that I go through with employers, and it's a really good and effective way of managing autism and Asperger syndrome in the workplace. It's also very good practice across the board in any business. Doesn't have to be specific to people who are neurodivergent. If you were implementing the things that I have in my 7 steps program, your business will be better for it. It will thrive. It will be more efficient. You'll understand your teams better, and things will work better and more coherently and with more order. I have a website. It's aspergersmatters.com. It's over my shoulder there. Please feel free to use the contact form on there if you want to know more about anything to do with managing autism and Asperger syndrome in the workplace. I'd be delighted to have a free 30-minute consultation with you to see how I can help you, whether we're a good fit and whether there's merit in us developing that relationship anything further to do on a commercial basis, and to see how I can help you. If you're autistic, if you have Asperger's and you're not sure how to go about things at work and you're having difficulties with communication, please get in touch. I can offer some help to see how you can do things. There are things that the employee can do to help themselves. Self-management is important. And just as self-care is important for your mental health and your physical health, self-management is important as to how you get on well in the teams with the people that you're around. So please feel free to get in touch on my website or email me at andrew@aspergersmatters.com, and I'll be delighted to have a conversation with you. Keep a lookout on Thursday for when this video to this webinar will be posted on my YouTube channel. If you go to my YouTube channel, please like, subscribe, and hit the bell, and comment on my videos, which are these webinars. It helps my metrics, helps me get on with my audience and build my audience. And if I can help one business make a difference to one employee who's on the spectrum, that's a great day at the office for me. If I can help a business help more people, fantastic as well. But it usually all starts with one individual, and it can grow from there. And how you can develop the systems to be more effective, more diverse, more inclusive in your business. That's about all we have time for today. Keep a lookout on Friday for what next week's topic will be. I don't know yet. I'll have to have a look and have a think about what next week's topic will be. But until then, take care, look after yourselves, and please get in touch if you think there's anything I might be able to help you with. Or you've just got a question and you just want to ask me something. Be delighted to be able to help. Take care.